everybody! It's the Underbelly Hours, the newest episode. We are back after a little hiatus.
Whoa!
And we have on the show today, Nature's Neighbor. Fantastic band. It's kind of like a collaboration. It's a revolving door of artists who are always in the different albums that they put out. But before we get to all of that juiciness and the new album that they have coming out, we gotta do our little intro.
Gotta get some new music out there.
Gotta get some new music out there. But first, I'm Adela.
And I'm Dan.
And you're listening to The Underbelly Hours.
In my basement.
Take off your coat, stay a while!
Like listening to new music? Want to know a band before they get popular? Tune into The Underbelly Hours, Sunday nights at 6 p.m. on WRSC 88.7 FM, and discover the best of local, unsigned musicians. Don't miss out on the next big thing.
I don't know, I started off doing the super radio person, like, hey, and I don't know how you do it for an entire hour show or whatever.
4 hours?
It was 5 seconds in, I'm drooping.
You know that your soul...
The depression just slowly creeps its way back in. And
you take your soul and you put it in a heart-shaped box, and you lock that box, and you put it over here, and then you go on air, and then you bring your soul back after you finish this.
Anyway.
Alright, puddle of mud.
Oh god. I forgot about that. What? Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Underbelly Hours. Very excited to have y'all. Let's talk about some new music.
First up, Adela.
Me? Oh, okay. I wanted to shout out for this week, really interesting, it's like a collaboration album that features all of the artists from a local Chicago label. The label's called Lism Radio, and their first kind of collaboration album is called Realism Radio Volume 1. And I love this for two reasons. One, I've never really heard of a record label putting out an album that features each of their artists. I think that's a super cool way to introduce people to the artists on your roster. I can't do this anymore because I have a free Spotify account, so I know, shame on me. But yeah, so it has all of the artists on their roster. Super cool way to get introduced to the artists. And this one in particular, this album has like little snippets in between the songs that's like a commercial sometimes. So it sounds like you're listening to a radio station, a radio show. Very cool. Album
it's
artwork.
Boys vs. Girls.
Yeah, Boys vs. Girls is in it. There's a bunch of also new artists that we gotta check out that I haven't heard of yet. I just actually found out I found this record label through Boys vs. Girls because he just got signed recently. Super cool stuff though. You should check it out. It's called Realism Radio. It's available on all streaming platforms. And again, just a cool way to get introduced into a roster of musicians. Oh, Attack the Sound is also
awesome.
here as
cool.
well.
They're great.
Yeah.
He's great.
If you want to hear a cool mix of music, some cool little fake commercials, and just have a whole experience, check it out. Realism Radio, Volume 1.
The album cover's pretty cool too. It kind of reminds me of a Star Wars poster.
Yeah, right? That's what I think too. It's super cool.
It's pretty sweet.
And here's a track just to give you a little taste.
Feeling so humble right now.
Scoop Magic.
All this love. It feels like a dream for me and my team, and all that we've been through. And it's been so many days thinking of ways to get out the struggle, but we made it. Yeah, we made it through the storm. We made it. Yeah. We made it for so long. We made it. Just look at my life. Hey, must be living it right. Yeah. Cause every night I be feeling so good when I look at my wife. Hey, yeah, I'm loving that sight. The money be flowing in left to the right. Damn. All of this cause I write and be making them bangers that all of you like. On a natural hike, I'm walking on air while you watching you stare. Wow, is that scoop over there? Damn, that dude's everywhere. Can I lose? I'm a boss. Creating my lane while you niggas is playing. True to the game, real with myself. Loving my team, they be my wealth. Yes, yes, yes. We made it through the storm. We made it. Yeah, 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 yeah. We made it for so long. We made it. Top of the world. 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 Top of the world.
I go hard for my team, no negative, that's black tourmaline. Protected, spreading good energy, that's why that good karma come right back to me. Your daughters look up to me, show them the beauty, don't showcase the ugly. Got my business intact, this here ain't no act, I'm just stating the facts. We put on for the shot, we didn't stand by and accept the shot rag. We removed all the dust, regained the trust and lifted her up. Gotta give it our all, broke down the walls, rebels with cause, with the draw, together we standing in love. And never will fall. Yes, 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 yes.
We made it through the storm. We made it for so long. We made it. Top of the world. Top of the world. Top of the world. Top of the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Top of the world, we made top of the world. Me and my team.
All right, well, my pick is, surprise, surprise, Pino Farina
Oh, how my
came out with a
gosh.
new song with the Pino Farina band.
Dude, I
Called it
never would have guessed.
Shiver. I know, right?
Never would've
like I
guessed.
just pulled
Pino
that out of
Farina.
left field.
All right.
I was like,
You do not like that guy at all.
I despise the man. I go to bed with bitterness and resentment
In
towards
your
him
heart, yeah.
because he can sing like some kind of like angelic king
Yeah.
and had no voice
He's-
lessons.
He's
And I
yeah,
just-
king voice right there.
Yeah,
If the Chicagoland suburbs.
yeah. He
Fantastic.
he can pinofy any song and just make it sound like. So anyway, Shiver, new original song out. I think it came out last Friday or something. And it's pretty cool. You guys should like it.
It's a good summer song. I
It
like
is.
driving down. No, it's good.
Just like that.
Just like that, except except not at all. Except something that's actually amazing because it's Pinot Farina.
Here it is.
Watch out.
She's like white lightning when she starts to move. Lady with purpose and an attitude. Lipstick and leather, an attribute. They see her walking, step back, respect
on to the main segment of our show. Today, we have a fantastic, we're welcoming back somebody who was on the show a while back ago, and who has a new album coming out that has a really interesting collaboration happening, quite long distance, but really excited to hear what he has in store and what the final product's going to look like. Talking about none other than Nature's Neighbor, who is on Skype with us today. Hello guys, can y'all introduce yourselves and what you do in this little group?
Sure, yeah. My name is Mike. I play guitar and sing, and one of the songwriters for Nature's Neighbor. I write a lot of the time with my good friend here, Carol, and we kind of wrote this one together.
Nice.
Well, we definitely did.
And Tara, what do you do in the band?
So I actually produced the whole album, and I play keys, I do drums, although on this album we had Seth Engel doing the drums on this one, and just like all the synthetic textures and stuff like that you hear. But this was actually my first time doing like full-on production for Nature's Neighbor, which was really fun, but also very stressful and very challenging. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, very excited to dive into all of that in a little bit.
But first,
That's right.
we like to start things off with a little game, an icebreaker game, if you will, just to, break the proverbial ice, get things a little silly, goofy, so that it comes relaxed, so that we can talk about anything we want.
That's right.
Anything. I'm talking about myself. I'm about to go on some
Good,
rants.
because I'm really uptight right now.
You need some relaxation.
All right. So this game is called Would You Band?
Mm-hmm.
And the premise of this is that we give you 3 people that may or may not be based on real individuals encountered in the music scene, and they're all amazing musicians, but they all have one defeating caveat.
One Achilles heel.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is up to you guys to determine whether you would band up with this individual for a performance or a tracking a song or something, a recording session, whatever. But yeah. So, do you guys understand what's
the
about to
concept
happen?
of the game?
So these aren't real people.
No.
But they might be based on.
Yes, they might be
Okay.
like it might be kind of pulled upon some stereotypes or stuff like that from people who we may or may not have encountered.
Maybe.
All right.
Understood.
All right.
Would you like to start?
I would like to start.
All right.
Person number 1. We got Rachel. Rachel is a fiddle player. Fantastic individual. She can do some mean fiddling on the violin. She also does really great layering of orchestration, so she can just do a bunch of string parts, not just necessarily a stereotypical violin sounding string part. But Rachel,
She took an arrangement class in college.
yeah,
She knows what's
she
up.
knows what's up. Rachel knows what's up. Here's the problem with Rachel, though. Rachel, in about 2 weeks, is moving to Norway and didn't tell you up until today. Now, the question is, you have a show coming up with Rachel. What do you do? Do you decide to let her into your band still? Or do you not band up with her? Considering that you might be able to work with her with long distance and stuff, but she's moving to Norway. That's the thing. Would you still band with Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would, for sure. Distance is no problem for us. And fiddle is. How often do you come across a fiddler? I think. Yeah.
I agree.
Sometimes I
she's
see him
in,
on the roof.
But as long as she can make the show, we'll talk about that
Mm-hmm.
as a unit afterward, I guess.
Okay. So Rachel is in the band. Even though she's moving to
Oh,
Norway,
yeah.
she can record all her tracks and stuff.
Rachel she's totally in the band. My sister's name is Rachel. I feel a kinship already. And like Terrell said, when are you going to get fiddle on an album? It's almost impossible.
Plus, we can go visit her in Norway. Win-win. Right there.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Person
Alright.
number 2.
So this guy is named
No,
Josh,
I'm just kidding.
and he's a great techie, and can set up any instrument you need, like anything on the eve of a show. If something breaks and you're like, oh no, like he's the guy that's gonna fix everything. He's like the most wanted roadie and techie, like he can engineer and everything. But his name is Josh, and he works behind the camera, and he sucks. Sorry, that one I just
Oh,
wanted to
yeah,
Josh.
okay.
No, okay. So Josh is an amazing guitar player. Shredder.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this was just to
Alright.
throw shade at Josh. It's not anything else.
Josh is smiling now, though. That's the point. We got Josh to smile. Okay,
I feel like he wasn't being included enough in
Okay.
our episodes.
fair enough.
So I just needed to make sure that it was known that he sucked. Josh is an amazing guitarist, and he can shred. He can play some crazy, like, he experiments with chord structures and different voicings, and will really make a unique sound for y'all. But he's a little needy. He likes to eat on stage, and he's not the most neat when doing so.
Like Dorito fingers, like nacho Doritos. All
Yeah.
over the...
Yeah, but hey, somehow he still gets a wicked tone. But
Maybe
for
it's the
shows,
Dorito dust.
maybe it's the Dorito dust.
Who knows?
But yeah, he will not play a set without consuming some food on stage.
Mike, I'm gonna. Yeah.
I'll take this one. I feel like Nature's Neighbor would not be down with eating on stage. We eat in the studio, but not on the stage. It's like, come on, man.
Ooh, that's even rougher because he
Why are
actually
you
hates eating in studio.
Busting out a thing of French onion sun chips while I'm singing my most emotional part in the song. You're drawing attention with the crinkling of your bag. You're turning the whole
So
set
that's
into like a joke, and I don't like that. I'm not into it. I don't like his name either. It's like
Right.
Josh.
Yeah,
Oh, this is Josh. Like, oh, that's cool.
right. Yeah,
No.
like who the hell likes a Josh? Does anyone know any good Joshes out there?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Fuck Josh.
There's a few good ones, but this one, eating Tostitos, while Terrell's doing his piano solo, no. And then, feel bad because then you gotta, like, the next person coming on after us or whatever, you gotta clean up all the crumbs. It's embarrassing. He doesn't clean up after himself.
This is true.
I could see a lot of arguments coming from that.
He would say it's an art piece, an artistic expression,
Then he can start
avant-garde.
like a solo career, of like
Yeah.
ambient music with like chip sounds and like Cheeto sounds
Yeah.
in the background.
With like up close with the microphone against your cheek, just.
And then he'd take off huge and blow up and be like huge, and then he'd like be like, "See, I didn't need you guys anyway." And then it was, I don't know.
And then both sides are happy.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But
sorry,
most
Josh, but
most importantly, it's the name Josh, right?
like 93%.
Okay.
Why?
That was my hunch, but all right, cool. So Josh, I'm sorry, you're not in the band.
I wish we had a buzzer, like, not in the band, That'd be fun.
Well, if our Josh actually did good
Oh my
at
god.
his job, he would provide that.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
All right.
Is he eating right now?
It's dude stuffing his face, completely just gorging himself.
I'm not eating the roll.
All right. Person number 3. Josh is out, but what about? What should this person do? Louis.
Louis.
Louis. All right. Listen. Louis is a fantastic, phenomenal bassist. Okay. He really slaps that bass. He lays it down. He's amazing. Funky, sweet, whatever you want him to be, he'll be.
Mhm.
But Louis is a player, okay? Louis likes ladies, all right? And on stage, he'll start out giving he'll start off with a little wink. And then it'll be like a little shimmy towards some women in the audience as he's playing.
A shimmy.
A little
What is
shimmy.
it, 1971?
He does
And
dress like
eventually, because he's got a wireless bass, he usually likes a few drinks in him during a set or before a set. He'll start walking off the stage and trying to like serenade women while he's playing the bass line. He doesn't mess up. Doesn't skip
that.
a
No,
beat.
he's still flawless.
He's flawless, but there's the danger that he will walk off the stage during your performance
And just start
and
macking
just start
on
yeah,
someone.
just being like, "Hey, look at my bass," you know. This one may or may not have been based on someone.
They're
So
already giving the
Based
Knicks.
on someone? Hey.
yeah. So anyway, Louis, would you band or would you not band with Louis? Phenomenal
No.
guy.
Oh,
Give
No?
him 2 X's.
Okay.
first of all, we know bass players. We got the bass down. We don't need a bass player running off with, I mean, come on. It's 2021. We need this is just gonna. Our whole band's gonna get canceled after it's like second show. Louis doing his shenanigans.
Yeah.
And Terrell, I mean, right? Come on.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I don't need that. I don't need that kind of mojo on my stage. Yeah. Also, I have like a firm like don't drink on stage unless you're like super nervous and you need like that one like pre-show beer just to like get the nerves out, you know.
Have we ever drank on stage together?
No, I don't think we have.
Yeah, I think. Wow, look at us.
Who'd have thunk, huh?
So, we'll give you, what was her names?
Louis.
Only
No,
Rachel so far.
Rachel. Yeah.
Rachel.
We'll give you
Rachel-
Rachel's number. We'll
Yeah.
put
We'll
you
hook
in
you up.
contact.
She's moving to Norway, but it doesn't matter. She
And
will definitely.
We'll let Louis and Josh
Oh yeah,
know.
I'm going to Oslo to visit.
Yeah,
Definitely right away.
That'd be fun.
dude,
Isn't
right?
that Nor- Sorry.
Fantastic. You can be nature's neighbor in Norway.
All right.
Oh.
That's
Well, let's,
really nature's neighbor. That's like never mind. Okay.
You were about
Well,
to
with
say
all that-
Norway, weren't you?
Nature's Norway is. That's why I stopped.
Nature's Norway.
All right, so there you go.
All right, cool. With all that in mind, then.
We have to give Rachel a taste,
Yeah.
right?
I love your guys' name. Your guys' games, pre-interview games.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. But like Dan was saying, we have to let Rachel know what kind of music she's getting into, what the band is she's about to play in. So
Give them a taste.
to Rachel, what song would you recommend we play first on this podcast?
From the new album or just anything?
Just anything, but I mean,
Really?
you do have an album coming out, so
You do.
you know.
Yeah. For Rachel, I don't know, Terrell. What's like the most folksy song on the new album that maybe she could see herself playing fiddle on?
Oh, God. I already forgot the name of it. That's bad. I don't think we've released it yet, though. The one that you wrote while you were abroad, dude.
For this one?
For this album, yeah.
When I was abroad? Let me look at the track list.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's been so long.
Right when I was abroad, it was COVID. I wasn't abroad.
Dude, you originally wrote it when you were there's like a line about Greece in it. Oh my gosh, I'm like,
Oh, great old happy time.
yeah, great old happy time. That's like the most folksy one of it. Like has the most folksy vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be into that.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Also got
Great
a
old
great old folksy title too.
Yeah.
Right?
It does.
Yeah, it's the dumbest title on the album.
I like
The title of any song ever.
No, it's great. So, without further ado, we present to you Great Old Happy Time by Nature's Neighbor on
The Underbelly Hours in my basement.
Woo!
folded away somehow in a place it stays day by day. My brain decays, I'd say. They're taking me away. Replacing the bouquet. Taking me days to make a decision about you. Oh, I don't know why. But it's been driving me to drink. Laughing at the blood in the kitchen sink. You didn't need to take it seriously. These people, they have been so cruel to me. I'm playing a guitar online for free, thinking it would help, but it don't help. But it's okay, I'm just a waste of space, making a phrases to escape the malaise. I think it's taken me 10 days. To plan out this escape. Will I ever leave this place? It wasn't such a great old happy time. I remember I hated most of mine. You put me on a train and told the line, sending me to Greece to walk the streets. Now everything I do these days is for you. God, that's okay. He knows that I need to.
That was swell.
Fantastic. I
Could you
hope-
hear fiddle on that?
Yeah, I could hear it in my mind's ear.
That's a phrase.
That's a phrase. It'll catch on soon. Don't worry about that.
Here,
So
Thanks.
Can we go right into that song just quickly, because you guys were really struggling on finding that before. What were you guys referring to when you wrote it abroad, and what's just a quick little story behind that song?
Okay, well, I didn't write it abroad. I was in my living room. But, you know, that's cool that he thought I was abroad because, you know, but yeah, that was a song that I was just, it was one of those things, like I found two chords that I liked, and then I just set up the photo booth on my MacBook, and I literally like mumbled out the whole song and played the whole thing to my photo booth in like one go. It just all like came out really easily, and the whole melody to the verses and the chorus and everything, I just like, you know, said in gibberish.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when it came time to make it, because I did that in like the end of 2019, so before our interview, actually our first interview,
okay.
I had written that already. And then when it came time to, like, me and Terrell were writing songs one after the other, making this new one in beginning of 2020, I was like, oh, well, I kind of wrote that one, so I'll go and look at it. And then I heard it, and it was complete. So I just added lyrics to the mumbled, gibberish, and it was already done. And I did the guitar and vocals and sent it off to Terrell, and he added all kinds of really cool stuff to it that really, because it was super bare bones song. And he added some bells and a lot of great background vocals. And then we got a friend to play drums on it. And yeah, but I think Terrell really took that one to the next level. I love his layering on that song.
Nice.
I gotta be honest, I forget what a lot of these songs sound like because I still. Yeah. All right, I have this thing where especially if it's like the more time that I spend working on a project, after I finish that project, it's like, okay, done. Baby's out in the world, right? It's learning how to walk on its own. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it for like months. And
yeah, whereas I've listened to it like 50 times, and I keep texting him like, well, not all the time, but I'm like, bro, you should listen to it. Like, it sounds really good. And he's like, nah, like, I don't want to. So it's funny, he's very different than me with that. I get obsessed with something when it's done and listen to it over and over. But I really respect how he's just like, well, whatever.
On to the next thing.
Not that he put so much work into finishing it. I think that's why, it's like, well, but then again, Terrell just writes songs every day, whereas, I'm not as prolific as him. So he's got like 4 albums in the making right now as well with like other projects and stuff. So don't necessarily have time to just sit and listen to something you already did, so.
Well,
Maybe he'll listen to it in like 2023 or something.
Probably that year I will listen to it. It'll be vintage by that point, so yeah.
There you go. Only listening to vintage stuff. But I wonder too if I don't want to speak for you, but I sometimes get that way as well. And I'm wondering if for you, Terrell, if it helps to have like a month or however long a time period to kind of have your ears stop getting used to it, so when you come back, you can listen to it with like a fresh mindset.
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. That's actually kind of why towards the end of it, it took so long because I was like, my head was like so in the mixes with these things, and I just needed that clarity, that clear space that you're talking about to sort of get reset your ear. Otherwise you're just, you're stuck in a time loop, and it's just maddening. It's maddening for me. Yeah, once it gets to that point, I'm good to just take a break.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, you kind of brushed on how you wrote that song, how you started it, and then pass it off. Is that usually how these collaborations happen with you two? Is it starts with just like a stripped down acoustic and mumble vocals, and then you pass it on, and producer magic happens, and it's a back and forth, or is there any times where it's like reverse, and the production starts?
I would say the way that this album started was I had just finished writing an album because I was in quarantine and I was super bored, and I had like all the time in the world, and so I finished an album, but I still had I was still writing a lot of songs, and I was still just like I don't know, like I had this energy that I just couldn't stop really, and so I hit up Mike, and Mike and I had been talking a lot during quarantine because it was crazy. It was a crazy time that we just wanted to connect on. And so I was like, hey, I got this song. I want to do a Nature's Neighbor thing. And he just finished Windy City Airport only 2 or 3 months prior to this conversation, which is a fantastic album that Mike really endeavored on his own to just make it just this superior, I love that album. But yeah, I hit him up with this song. I was like, dude, I want to do a single. I want to do a Nature's Neighbor single. And he was like, I don't know. And then we did it. And then we were like, all right, let's do 3 more. Let's do an EP. And then let's do a 5-track EP, 7-track EP, 13. And then we ended up with, 10, 11 songs? 10?
Yeah.
In tall order. So.
Yeah, well, it was 12, and then Tall Order's 13, and it went. It very much like to. Oh yeah, I was not in the mood to write music, and then Terrell kind of pushed me into it, and it was super refreshing when we did that first song, which is actually the last one on the album, called Other Side of Town. But to further answer your question, it was very much like I'll make maybe I'll lay out a whole song in guitar and send it to him, and he'll add layers, and then I'll add vocals. It was basically like whoever starts the song off kind of would probably sing on it. But it was very much like sending fragments back and forth to each other the whole time. That was how like every song was written. Like half of the songs were started by Terrell, or like maybe like out of 12, 7 of the songs were started by Terrell, and 5 of them were started by me. And yeah, just to kind of wrap it up but go into a bit more detail, like we used to live in the same city and we'd go over to each other's houses to write together. But when he moved back to Virginia at the end of 2015, we quickly figured out that it was just as easy to write songs through email, and that it wasn't going to be a problem to do it that way. And it was actually fun. You're not in the room when someone does something. And so what they send back is a total surprise, and it kind of gives you a burst of energy to like, oh, wow, well, I didn't expect that. The song went in a totally different direction. And there were a few songs on here that I started as a simple folk song that Terrell kind of made into like way more electronic and like groovier, took it in that kind of direction. And that just, like starts a whole kind of momentum going. And so, yeah, for every song here, it wasn't like the only song I delivered that was completely finished was the one we just played, Great Old Happy Time. It had lyrics and guitar parts, and the whole song was written. Every section was already written, but every other one, it was just fragments. And he would send over like part, I would sing a verse over it, then he would add another part to it, and then I would add another section. So it's just piecing together fragments, which I think is kind of what happens when you write songs long distance. Like it's very fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That's a cool perspective, because I feel like when most people are looking at that kind of dynamic, they might be cautious or worrisome. It's like, how's this going to work? This seems like there's going to be a lot of miscommunication, or just like, I feel like it's easy to go straight to the challenges of a long distance collaboration like this. I mean, even though it is easier now, but when you put it in a cool twist, like it's fascinating because you don't know what's coming. When you're jamming in the same room, you're starting to feel each other's energies, and it can kind of feed into another. But when you're just sent this new idea that you weren't expecting, yeah, that's really cool. Do you think that's easy for you guys because of like your perspective looking at it like that? Like, oh, I can't wait to hear what he comes up with, like, and open-minded to what they might come up with? Or is it also your guys' chemistry? Like, do you think it would be harder for other people that might not have as strong of a connection that they...
I think you're asking how do you think you guys are making this work, and why is it working so well?
Why is it working so well?
Yeah, why is it working so well for you guys? Mm-hmm.
Well, if I could hop in and say one thing, I just think that like we were comfortable writing long distance because we've done it since like 2016, and all of those kind of worries that maybe you brought up, Dan, a little bit, like how's this going to work, sort of were like going on during 2016 when we were first starting to write long distance. But then as we finished an album called Drawing in Pen, we figured out like, okay, this works really well. And also it's a bit of both. It's like being excited about what someone's going to send, you don't know, but also me and Terrell had built up like, about 4.5 years before he moved to Virginia, so much like of camaraderie and like chemistry of writing together. So we know each other very well. So like there's never any worry, or like if there's miscommunication, then we just call each other on the phone and go, hey, no, let's talk this out, and then we talk it out. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, Terrell, does that make sense? Or like
I mean, it's easy for us to work together because one, we love each other's music. Like the stuff that we do separately, we're each other's biggest fans. And we know, like, I know that if I send you this song that you're gonna flip out, right? And I know that I'm gonna flip out when I get your parts back. and hear him right in the mix. And I'm gonna it's so much fun to. We were just having so much fun making this project because we were just bouncing ideas back and forth from each other, and it was like Christmas every morning because I would wake up, new stems, and then Mike would wake up and he'd get a new bounce, and we would just sort of just play with it, just continue to play with it, and from then it just kept on growing, and the conversations kept on happening. I like this, I don't like this could be a little bit better. Can you fix this? Sure. No. No. That's gonna stay how it is, sort of thing. So yeah, the chemistry definitely helps. Knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses definitely helps a lot too. I know that I don't know. Mike and I have very distinct strengths and weaknesses, and I think we're both very fully aware of what they are, and so that makes working with each other really great.
Mm-hmm. So I now have a small question, kind of talking about this idea of back and forth. Almost have this elastic kind of relationship musically where you guys have the freedom of recording whenever you want, finishing songs kind of whenever you want. And also I'm curious, how does the long distance relationship musically play into your, identity as a band, as Nature's Neighbor? Because I honestly kept forgetting, and I'm sorry because I need to go back and fix this caption right now, because I keep sometimes just forgetting that it's more than Mike in Nature's Neighbor, because of the social media and everything like that. So I'm wondering, hold up, I'm just curious, how do you guys view the collaboration of Nature's Neighbor? Because it seems a little bit like a not very traditional band. Is it like a solo project with rotating members? Is it a duo that sometimes, there's songs released by Terrell, sometimes songs released by Mike? How do you define your, musical relationship as Nature's Neighbor?
Mike, do you mind if I step in a little bit here on this one?
Please.
So,
because I don't know if I can answer it.
The way that I sort of see it, Mike is the director. He's the creative director of this group, and he always has been. It's been his effort every time. But anybody who's been touched by that group is part of it, and
that's cool.
It becomes your band. Nature's Neighbor is my band, even though it's Mike's brainchild, and he's the one who takes care of it. He does all the social media. His YouTube channel is exploding right now because he is just making so much work and so much music videos. But I very much feel like I'm a part of it, and it is also my band too, which is, it's cool because we're not in the same state together, and I haven't seen this dude in over a year, but he's still one of my best friends. He's my brother, so I don't know if I'm getting off track with that.
No, that totally makes sense. As the idea of there's one person at the helm, but anybody who is invited into this project, it becomes they're part of the band too, is essentially what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, if I could say one thing to add to that, it's every album is sort of a different mix of stuff, and as maybe you could say I'm at the helm in certain ways. This album, where I was really at the helm with Wind City Airport, that was really me. All the songs were me basically. This one was Terrell was kind of driving the the ship a lot of the time, and that was it's I'm never kind of worried about no, I need to be I like giving the keys to someone else and be you drive, because I know that if someone shows the initiative and the passion of wanting to take the reins, I never should be worried about that. And in fact, to make the music as good as it can be and as wide in range and as it can be, you gotta be able to just let somebody else drive for a long time. And that's why, Terrell said he produced this album. He absolutely did. He did all the mixes. I play on every song except one. But, it's called Nature's Neighbor because we both see it as our group, and I you know, like, but letting other people take the fore has always been something that I think is like super important because, yeah, but then it's not a solo project. It's not really a band.
No,
It's kind of a collective, but that's kind of, you know, I mean, yeah, I don't. The closest thing it would be like to a collective, but
That's
like
so cool,
it's
dude.
not even really that either. So you know, it's just like it's kind of like a Joan of Arc kind of thing. It's like an open door thing. Like Tim Kinsella is like kind of the guy that is on all the Joan of Arc albums, but like you know, Terrell has been on every single Nature's Neighbor album except one. So yeah, you know,
Dude, I love that.
it's hard
Yeah.
for me to define,
It's a cool
but I
That's-
think
neat
Terrell
thing.
put it pretty well.
That's such a neat thing.
Sorry, all of our answers are like super long.
No,
No, it's
this
wonderful.
is a podcast. It's
Yeah.
fine, dude. Yeah, and
It's
honestly,
way better than yes and no.
Yeah.
And
trying to pull out
maybe.
answers by like dragging
I don't
people.
know.
Yeah, no. But this is super cool. I think that what was I gonna say? It's cool because you know it allows you more flexibility too than just like being a solo project too. Like you can invite anyone you want. It can be the band can be as big as it needs to be for an album, or as small as it needs to be for an album,
Yeah.
and adjust very well. That's very cool, super cool concept. And I think
dig.
we've been talking a lot, so
You know,
let's slap on another track, shall we? I don't like the word
Sure,
slap.
yeah.
I'm curious, Mike, which song is the one that you're not on? I didn't know that you weren't on
Well,
a song.
yeah, no, there's one song I'm not on, which is First Mother's Day, which is probably you probably shouldn't play that one
Yeah, probably.
because it's like a deep cut and it's there's no singing on it. It's just like an ambient track with a voicemail from our friend Brandon on it, which is really nice. But you know, I think if we're gonna play a track that kind of shows like how many different people like all the different collaborators on this album, which there's 6 people on it, and there's one track called Bold Move, which is a kind of like the big Odyssey epic of this album that like highlights everyone, and I think it'd be cool if we could play that one. I think it'd be nice for college radio.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Goes all over.
It does go all over the place.
Nice.
Oh, man, I totally forgot about that.
All right, so you're listening to Bold Move by Nature's Neighbor on
The Underbelly Hours in my basement.
Nice.
In the silence, I'll speak for you. It's a bold move. When there's violence, I'm at peace for you. It's a bold move. Eyes can't see, don't know. Eyes can't see. Can't know. In the silence, I'll speak for you. It's a bold move. When there's violence, I'm at peace for you. It's a bold move. In the silence, I'll speak for you. It's a bold move. When there's violence, I'm at peace for you. It's a bold move. Eyes can't see, don't know. violence, I'm at peace for you. It's a bold move. Cause I can't see, won't you let me be? Cause I can't see, won't you let me be? Cause I can't see, won't you let me be? Cause I can't see, won't you let me be? I've seen enough, tell the tale as it's been told. I have seen enough.
Nice.
I forgot that I have to switch it up every time. I started off kind of the same, and then I was like, I need to.
The transition.
Yeah.
You got the eyebrows, the wiggle, wiggle game strong. Also,
doing
we're
it
looking
right?
at another camera, by the way, like for stuff. So
Yeah, we're multi.
Yeah.
sorry for that. Yeah.
You guys are high levels of production here.
Yes, man.
Yeah, no, if we could only find a high-level
Oh,
cameraman that didn't suck and his name wasn't Josh, that would also be
Jesus.
swell.
You want to work this?
No.
Hey, Josh is getting saucy over there.
All right.
Keep stuff in your face, Josh.
I'd like to move on to really quickly talk about there's this one quote you put in here. Not quote. There's something that you say in the album notes, the liner notes on Bandcamp that I thought was really cool. You said that my previous album did not get the kind of reception I was hoping for, and I was feeling uninspired to make anything new when the chance to create this album came across my desk. Which I thought was really cool because I think a lot of people, especially after last year, especially a lot of the musicians and artistic folk who listen to this podcast,
Why? What happened last
can
year?
relate to that.
What? I don't know.
It can relate to feeling like super demotivated and stuff. And those are always the worst type of moments when you don't feel like you want to make anything, right? As a musical person. So I'm wondering, what is your strategy, Mike? And also Terrell, what are your strategies when something like this happens? You feel super uninspired. You don't want to make anything. How do you dig yourself up out of that hole and convince yourself that making music or making something new is worth the effort?
I think we both have pretty different ways of like dealing with that issue. I think maybe like Terrell has just like kind of like a stronger work ethic than me. Like he'll perhaps push himself to work, and he can explain that, you know, he can refute that or not, but you know, he kind of pushes himself to work even if he's like, you know, not. I'm like more like I need to be totally inspired, but then this album process kind of proved it, you know, that wrong, because Terrell's like, no man, just do this. Like I was like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit around and watch YouTube and like wear athletic shorts and eat chocolate. And I mean, sometimes when I do think that it's good to, like, if you don't want to make music, like for me, it's like, well then just don't, like, and you know, have other things like work on album artwork or work on photography or work on something else that could eventually contribute to the album making process. So like you get some cool artwork going like before an album's even made, and then you can kind of bring that in. So I'll focus on like visual art sometimes when I'm feeling uninspired, but I'm definitely someone that's like, if you don't want to do something, don't want to make music, then I don't know. Sometimes it's not good, but sometimes I'll just sit around and waste time because like I don't care. I don't want to do anything, so I'm just not going to do anything. And that's actually like a fault of mine. Like you know, and that's why I'm glad to work with someone like Terrell, who is more just like, well, I want to work with you right now, and I'm not going to wait around for you to feel inspired. Like, just do this. And then in like sending me stuff and like pushing me that way, then I get inspired, you know? So I sometimes need other people to help me get going, you know, which is why I don't make music like solo music. If I made solo music, I probably would have like 3 albums in the past 10 years, you know? So yeah, that's for me how I deal with it. I guess I don't deal with it. Like people have to force me into things.
That's fair though. Yeah, and Terrell?
So yeah, like Mike says, I make music every day. It's kind of a compulsion for me. I actually work at a music school. I teach and I manage the music school. And so there's instruments everywhere. So there's nothing to do at work. I'll just go to the piano room and just bang out a chord progression, or just record something on my iPhone that I can later rip and put it into Logic. And like on Friday was a really slow work day, and I was so bored. I was so bored, and I hit up my friend and was like, listen, I need a prompt. Like, give me something. Give me a key and give me an idea. And she said, all right, write a song in the key of F about getting a girl's number when you're in middle school. I'm like, all right, dope, done. And I did it. And that was, Mike, I sent that to you. F is for Feelings. I sent that to you today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was that. And like, it's a minute long. It's not even good. It's I don't know if it's gonna be anything. But I always think of this quote, this Kurt Vonnegut quote that I'm gonna butcher right now, but it's pretty much make something, make anything, even if it's half-assed. You're a one-eyed man in the valley of the blind. So that's kind of how I feel about it. It's just like just make something, and even if it's not good, you might like it later, and it might be gold. It might be gold. There's always that chance. I just if I don't feel like making music, I kind of force myself into making music. That's my way.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from many artists, both like local, indie, huge, mainstream. That there's some that just really will testify to writing every day or drawing every day, whatever your art is, but practicing that art every day, at least for like 5 minutes in the morning or at night. But it's like make it a routine, and it's like, you know, you gotta practice that creativity side of your brain. You gotta work that out at least every day, and sometimes it's shit and you just throw it away and it's like, but it's I think it's the notion of something will eventually come out. You're like clearing out cobwebs sometimes. Some days it's like bleh, and then some days it's you've just made way for this thing to come out and be like, oh, where did that come from?
It like leads into like a rabbit hole of creation too. Yeah. Like you start something and like, oh, I gotta fix that thing, or this would sound good if it had a bass line underneath it, or like a really crazy bonkers synth progression, like synth line that I and so then it just becomes a snowball effect of just like now it's actually something I like.
That's a good way to trick yourself.
Can I jump in for a sec there?
Go for it. Yeah.
An example of how tarot works. He sent me one time. He sends me these joke voice memos just to like make me laugh. And he sent me one that went like tacos and burritos, jalapeno Cheetos, something something. We go to the store to buy some more jalapeno Cheetos, and I was like, okay, haha, that's hilarious. But then he sent me like over the next 2 days like 5 different versions of that where he actually like added instruments and stuff, and then he added this huge intro like on the 4th version that was like this whole like lead up story to that, and like there's like all these layers, and like at the end it was like this song that like why would you make that song, but it was like awesome, you know, and it's like it's so like, you know, he just like makes music from any like anything that comes up, if it's a joke or if it's where I'm kind of more like sitting around like I need like serious inspiration for something like profoundly impactful, and he's just like tacos and but then it's amazing, and like and it keeps him making music and working on his craft like constantly. So I don't know, like, and me and my friend Mike were filming the music video for the song After the Dark, and like he kept sending us while we were driving around like versions of this jalapeno Cheetos song.
I love it.
Like this is a great song. Like I love this song.
Dude, just a quick plug here. Terrell, the senior marketing director at Cheetos, is Brandy Ray. I just found her on LinkedIn. If you want to send her your jalapeno Cheetos song, I'm sure she would get a kick out of it. So you should do that and see what happens.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I'm gonna hold on. What? Brandy Ray?
Brandy Ray, senior director of marketing.
We're making history.
Cheetos brand on LinkedIn.
It's gonna pop off, man.
6 months from now, there's gonna be a Cheetos commercial.
Dude, jalapeno Cheetos, tacos and burritos. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I thought it was very funny. Since you just mentioned, Mike, the video, which I didn't know that you can do on Bandcamp, like a video option now too. That's so cool. Yeah. What? Can we talk about that?
Got a lot of tabs there.
I know. I'm sorry. Don't judge me. Can we talk about that? The process for making the video, and then perhaps play the song in the podcast?
Yeah, definitely. And I'll try to keep it actually concise for a change. So the video was made with the concept in mind that Terrell and I cannot be in the same area, but we wanted to, be in the same video, obviously. So whenever Terrell shows up, he's either on a phone screen or like a giant movie theater projection screen. So I'm kind of watching him on my phone, which is kind of like what the song is about, like you want to be in the same room with your friends and hang out with them, but you can't. You have to just look at them on a screen, at least during 2020 when, like there was no vaccine and people were just forced to stay home. And the video was made with a childhood friend of mine that I met when I was like 13. And we used to make like Star Wars movies together and like skateboard videos, like, yeah, pop, shove it. Like I just did an ollie, like, like we edited in like, like Linkin Park music into it.
Yes.
So, like, and like, so him and I had been making videos together since we were like, little middle school kids. But this was our first time where we like, and he's followed making videos and like really seriously ever since then. And so he's gotten way better. He's got amazing equipment, but he just all does it himself. And one time I was like, let's go back to those areas we used to skate around in our hometown that are now like run down abandoned strip malls and stuff like that are just, there's nothing going on, weeds growing everywhere. And let's just like film, me kind of walking around and singing the song in that area. And it was really cool to reconnect with him with that same energy that we had when we were 13, like making a movie or a video, only, being like 30 now and being hopefully a little bit better at what we do. It was nice to like take that same energy and make a music video. And I think it turned out really great. It's called After the Dark. So during the video, it goes from like dusk to nighttime and then goes to the next day. And it was shot over a span of like 3 days, just walking around. And Terrell, filmed himself doing his sections and we kind of edited it in.
Super cool.
And yeah, the song's called After the Dark. And it's the only video we have for this album so far. I don't know if we'll make another one, but it's something I'm not really used to doing. It's like our first official video. So it's still kind of like new territory that I actually would love to do again. It's really fun, that whole side of things.
Cool.
That was not short, but I guess I'm incapable of short answers.
No, it's good, dude. This is After the Dark by Nature's Neighbor on
The Underbelly Hours in my basement.
Been burned out and busted, dead on the tracks. The wandering wolf dog follows me back. Tell him sit, throw a bone, biking home alone. Text your friends, go to sleep, dream of secret songs. I'm pushing the pedals to pump the heart. Pink mist slowly settles after the dark. Fields of black, headed back, biking home alone. Text your friends, go to sleep, waking to no reply. Slick trigger the eyes, responded. I don't know why. Darkened skies, midnight eyes, biking home alone. Wish I could go back to how it was, but it's gone, gone, gone. The stars will draw a map tonight. I'm off to find the other side. It's all okay, it's just a game we want to play every day. I can't believe it's come to this edge of apocalypse. Slow roll, stay high.
With Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh wow, throwback. Nice.
All right.
Cool. Well,
Well, that was awesome.
that was really cool. I think I do want to, before we wrap things up officially, let's run through a little bit of what people can expect for this album. It's up for pre-sale or pre-order right now. What do you guys have an anticipated release date on this? And I guess what are some things people can be looking forward to in this album? That's a little bit.
Hey,
maybe
Carol,
too-
when's the album come out? Do you
Dude,
know?
I don't know.
It comes out on May 14th.
Wait, let me try. Hold on. May 16th.
14th.
Damn it. I don't know.
I was just messing with him. I kind of take care of the whole promotion side, so yeah, it's coming out on May 14th. We have a new single called Shades of Yesteryear that comes out this coming Friday on the 16th. That should be premiered on a blog called Post Trash, which is a really cool blog.
Post
Yeah,
trash,
it's a funny name, but it's a good blog.
Yeah.
And I don't know, yeah, like as far as kind of what to expect from the sound, perhaps I should hand it over to the guy who produced it to maybe talk about what it sounds like and how it would be different maybe from Wind City Airport.
Yeah, definitely different sounds. I feel like Windy City Airport, you had like a very like live room feel to it. This is more just like a collage of sorts of different instrumentalists, different feelings, different recording textures. Basically working with what you got. It's like a lot of it was very much just like, we're in a scrapyard. Let's use what this is over here and a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then sort of tailor to what the song needs at that point. So there's a lot of really, this album actually was a lot of fun to make because there were a lot of running themes and a lot of sort of allusions to not only like different people featured on the album, but also different lyrics, different subject matter. We really dug into creating a mythology with this album. And I think Mike made like a count of like all the different like references of like previous works and stuff like that. And it was like something bonkers, but it was in that way, it is very much an album and not a collection of songs. It is a very cohesive work, which I'm very proud of. I'm very proud that we were able to put so much thought into the lyrics and the content like of the music as well. But yeah, all of the production's all over the place. I really can't put it in a bottle for you guys, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll try to bottle it a little bit. It's definitely a lot more electronic than Wind City Airport. And with the past three albums, Jade, and Wind City Airport, which is 2018, 19, and 2020, there was a rule to not use any MIDI or any beats, and that was just totally thrown out the window making this one. Like, there's beats all over the place, but there's also like full band stuff. It's kind of taking like everything that we've done and trying to do it to the highest level and throwing it all together. And yeah, it's full of Easter eggs and little things where, like, you know, hopefully like on multiple listens you'll find out that songs reference each other. Cool. There's also lots of there's like voicemail, the theme of voicemails and texting that goes on through the album. Like, you'll hear voicemails that bandmates leave each other on the songs. But yeah, so just to make it more simple, it's where Wind City Airport was a lot more folksy and full band in a room. This one's way kind of more loop-based and electronic, with still keeping some acoustic instrumentation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I have one last question that may have been answered through all that, but at the start of the episode, you said that this one was pretty challenging to produce. Is there, was it because it's kind of like all over the place and has a wider variety, or what kind of attributes made it difficult this time?
It was difficult because we were collaborating with a few. Well, just the fact that we're collaborating with like a lot of people, a lot of different people, remotely, and also just a lot of the tracks are like really, really thick. Like I think Dreadnought had probably like maybe 60 to 70, probably more than 70 different tracks at one point. Like in like just like 5 seconds of music sometimes. Like I like to get real
thick with 3Ks
sections and stuff like that. So in that there are a lot of mixing challenges there, and I definitely learned a lot. I'm still learning. I'm never going to stop learning when it comes to mixing. So with every album, with everything that we produce, it's very just like, how good can we make it right now? And as time goes on, you go back and you listen to it and you're like, okay, that's where I was then, and those are the tools that I used, and this is where I'm at now. So it was. That's why for me it's a little different. It's difficult to listen to something that I've just finished because I want to move on and keep learning. And I don't know, I can get sometimes frustrated by it, but it was just a very thick album in general.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's exciting. Can't wait for everyone to hear it. That'll be cool. Is there any last questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I was just gonna say, everyone go check out Nature's Neighbor. Pre-order the new album on Bandcamp. There's also, I was hesitating because yes, there is a CD version you can purchase as well. If you are a fan,
CDs.
I know, me too. I was organizing my CD collection at home the other day. It was so much fun. If you want to have a CD, you can also pre-order that. It does look beautiful as well. I was just pointing out to Dan that I really like the 3-panel album artwork. It's really fun. So go check that out. Also go follow Nature's Neighbor y'all are on Instagram, and that's it, or
YouTube, I think.
YouTube as well.
Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok.
And TikTok. Ooh, jumping on the TikTok train.
Yeah, no Facebook, but everything else we're pretty much on. So yeah, and we try to put out a new YouTube video every 3 days. Yeah, there's one that just came out today of us covering California Stars. Well, me covering California Stars, but Terrell and I do a lot of videos together too. Yeah. It's a fun way to just like do a song real quick. But yeah, it was awesome talking with you guys. I was looking forward to this for a long time, and I'm glad that we could get Terrell in on this too. And yeah, thanks for playing our music and for being interested in how we make it.
For sure.
Well, thanks for making great music.
Yeah.
That's fun to listen to and talk about.
Couldn't have done it without Josh.
That's true. Josh?
Well, I think everyone can do everything without Josh.
Oh my God.
I might say so myself. I mean, I appreciate you.
All these songs.
Appreciate you being nice, but he really doesn't deserve it.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, but also, speaking of things you may or may not like, if you like the idea of talking about local music here around the Chicagoland area. If you want to hear the latest and greatest from artists, and also just like hop in on our conversations about the music industry in general, which we're having more of recently, feel free to follow us on the socials. We got a Facebook, we got an Instagram, just still new, I can call it new because it started like 2 months ago, YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow us. Let us know if there's anybody you want to hear on the show. And always feel free to interact. I mean, leave questions, leave comments. We always read through those and try to incorporate them into what we do here at the Underbelly Hours. So,
In my basement.
In his basement. I think that's a wrap.
I think that does it.
Yeah? You're
Right
Dan.
on.
Wrap it up. Send it off. I'm Dan. You're Adela.
Fun.
This is having another episode of the Underbelly Hours.
In my basement. Bye.
All right.
Are you tired of listening to the same bands over and over again?
Over and over.
Stop listening to what mainstream media chooses for you
You filthy casual.
and try something new. Tune in to the Underbelly Hours every Sunday night at 6 p.m.
On WRSE 88.7 FM.
for exclusive interviews, unreleased content, and more from the depths of Chicago's underground. I'm Adela.
I'm Dan.
Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or anywhere you stream your podcasts, thanks to Ox Audio, a Chicago-based podcasting platform.